Tonight, we look to spend Monday in a pack at iRacing's virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway for the series' third trip to the Speedway. GridVision Superspeedways has the trucks in store for 75 laps from iRacing's virtual Hampton, Georgia. I'm Justin Prince alongside Brian Britt, Austin Jarvie Sharp producing as we get set for race number 10 of the season. And tonight, we return to what's been dubbed Atlanta Superspeedway for tonight's festivities. Tonight should be a quick one for these trucks.
Yeah, definitely should be. Of course, it's a mile and a half, very, very fast, as well as we're going to see some possible three-wide action here. Looking at the track temp right now, very hot on the surface. Looks like, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think that says 131. Am I saying that right? My goodness. That is incredibly hot, and that could very well lead to extreme tire wear. Even though we've talked about this track being a super speedway, in a lot of ways it still does have those mile and a half tendencies to where the tires do wear.
In turn, so far in the season standing, Sean Bounty continues to lead the point standings. 44 points the difference between him and James Self. Of note, James Self and Timothy Babcock, second and third in points, not here tonight. They're both at an NFL game for Monday Night Football, in fact, this evening. Faison Chief, in turn, has a great chance to move to second in the points if he has a clean run tonight. He's amongst those here for tonight's festivities.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting to see if he can maybe capitalize on that. And unfortunate to see South not here. I know he's been having some really great races here as of late. His qualifying, of course, still underway. At the moment, Heath Snyder at the top of the board. Looks like, looking at the qualifying right now, Faison, we were just talking about him, just spun out under qualifying.
Well, let's take a look at what's coming up in the week amongst itself, though, here on GridVision, because it's build week. By tomorrow, there's a new oval refresh, and Champion, in turn, is going to have a very fun time learning the new feel of the trucks at Charlotte. That's at 9 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Then at Phoenix, it's the SSRO Truck Series. They look to finish off in style with the refresh, 9 p.m. from Phoenix Raceway. And remember, the Eastern and Pacific time slots are available for bookings for 2024, as well as the final stages of 2023. Contact GridVision today to learn more. So speaking of GridVision Superspeedways and tonight's festivities, it should be an interesting one. Again, our final rotation through the series before we decide a champion with Atlanta, Daytona, Talladega yet to go, including tonight's festivities. Who do you think's the one to watch when it comes to a race like this evening, though?
That's really tough. I mean, I'll tell you one I'm going to really be keeping my eye on. One that I don't believe has gotten to victory lane yet has been Sean Bounty. I mean, this guy has been nothing but consistent all season long, and I suspect he's going to, at some point, crack through and get a victory. Could it be tonight? I think it's very possible. He's always been a great driver when it comes to having to save tires, and with the heat out here, I think that might be a factor. We'll have to wait and see.
Keep in mind as well, when it comes to the rotation of the tracks and car combinations so far, when it comes to the truck, no repeat winners so far. Talladega, it was Alan Wernicke. All the way back at Daytona, it was Bobby Manto on October the 30th. And now we have tonight's festivities here from Atlanta Superspeedway. Part of the rotation flair here this evening. So the last of the truck starts here tonight, 75 laps. Minute, hour and 25 minutes, whatever comes first. It's Heath Snyder on the pole tonight. And a newcomer, that's Brandon Iskanian, who starts off at second. Ishikan, should say. You know more so about him, Brian, with your experiences. He's now in front of Sean Bounty and Bobby Mantle for the grid. Scott Wise and Faison Chief are in the last qualifying spots. Justin Levine, Jason Hand in a second start. That's Michael Litter and Mark McFadden rounding up the grid. So you, of note, Brandon is someone you know personally through Team Watson. He gets to be outside front row in debut.
Yeah, Brandon Ishakanian, I do believe that's how you say his name. I'm probably messing it up as well, but he's definitely
You're the team
long
boss.
time. I know, you're right, but I don't I'm used to writing his name out when I make posts for Team Watson, but I'm not used to really saying it with my mouth. So definitely curious. He's a very nice guy, though. Known him for quite a while. Just usually just say Brandon. Don't really get a chance to say his last name, though. But I expect him to do well. Very good qualifying position right now up here in second. Glad to have him in here. Seems like we're having a little bit of a Team Watson takeover as well with Jason Hand starting in 8th.
In turn, drivers getting themselves sorted here. Apparently, one of the drivers we're waiting on for the starting grid. I don't know if this is a fully serious comment. Apparently, drivers like Justin Levine ordered food and hoped to get it in time for the grid. Apparently, he ordered food 25 minutes before the starting grid. Guess what? Apparently, it's not here, so he's going to have a problem in about 15 minutes.
Man, that's going to definitely be a little bit of a scary predicament there for the rest of these drivers. If all of a sudden he gets a knock on the door or a doorbell starts ringing and he's got to jump up, hopefully he makes it to pit road before that ends up happening. That's going to be a little bit of a scary predicament there for the rest of the guys. I don't know if that was very wise of Justin Levine. Always great driver, but I guess he doesn't. He should have ordered a little bit earlier.
Well, outside of the potential quick pit stop for the one truck, your keys to victory tonight outside of avoiding that pit stop.
Yeah, keys to victory. That's definitely an interesting question. I think it's going to be pretty much just staying safe. I think the bottom line is going to be where you're going to want to be for a lot of this, just considering that is the best escape route. Because I do think we're probably going to see some accidents that are going to involve, some 3-wide incidents. So I think the bottom line is going to be the place you're going to want to be.
Just about set for GridVision Superspeedways here tonight. 10 entrants on the list, and they're already bumping for 7. We're off to a fun start. And we're already bumping for second, too. We're going to have you with us as we look to see if drivers spend Monday in a pack. Off to a strong start. Green flag is out. We're underway. Snyder leads him to the green. Bounty with the bump inside.
Yeah, already some wiggling going up top. I see Bobby Mantle moving around quite a bit. Big run, though, from Scott Wise up to the back of the 34 of Sean Bounty. Bounty, of course, doing the smart thing. He's going to try to see if he can push Heath Snyder and see if they can stay clear. Well, maybe not. He jumps up to the top, and he's going to try to go for the lead. Can Brandon Ishikanian get up to him?
See that from the fender still at the 29 as they make their way down the front straightaway. It's Snyder who leads the first lap. Remember the bonus point lap for these trucks tonight in Atlanta, lap 25, which could be critical for drivers like Bounty. After all, Sean Bounty's the leader in bonus points this season with how he's ran up to the midway point or to the stage point.
Yeah, he's been incredibly consistent when it comes to stage points. Of course, this race, I do believe 25 laps, lap 25 is going to be when the stage points will be awarded. So I suspect he's going to be definitely in a good position there to see Justin Levine looking like he's rushing to get that Applebee's order, but he's rushing his way up to the top 5 right now. Side by side right now with Bobby Mantle, as well as he's got Michael, I do believe, Little pushing him.
Scott Wise also pushing on the inside to the back end of Snyder. Bounty getting a little bit of an edge on the top side. We've seen some big runs up top here at Atlanta this season. The inside seems to be quicker though in these trucks to start.
Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me a whole lot, just considering these trucks are a lot lower horsepower than we see in the next gen, and of course, maybe not the Gen 6 quite so much, but in the Xfinity. So these trucks definitely, you're able to kind of max out the speed. But then again, we'll see. I think pushing is going to be incredibly important here tonight. As you see Brandon Ishikanian and the 19 machine giving some really great pushes to the 34 of Sean Bounty, who's going to lead this lap. I do believe it's a close one. Barely, I think Bounty was able to lead that one.
5/1000 of a second, that time the difference at the stripe. Still 2x2. And a very calm start for the most part. Remember though, the tire fall off is pretty big here. We've seen the top line eventually be the preferred line once things have settled in. We've already seen the top 4 drivers up top starting to get a little advantage. They're a little bit more tightly packed inside though. Scott Wise getting very loose. Levine getting very big on the checkups near contact from Michael Little.
Yeah, that's something you're going to see a whole lot on that bottom line is checkups. I mean, that's something that you see a lot at Daytona, Talladega, and it looks like Atlanta is not, exempt from that. So you see the top line definitely starting to move quite a bit. But you mentioned tire wear. I think it's going to be worse and worse as this goes on, considering we saw that 130+ degrees. I mean, that is hot for this track, especially this time of year.
Well, I mean, it is a track where if you know how to make the weather conditions right, it can get very, very hot at this track. I've seen 151 degrees, the track temperature, if you play with the humidity right.
Wow, that's nuts. Version on possibly going 3 wide here. Brandon Ishikanian thinking about popping underneath Sean Boundy, but I think he thought a little bit better of it. Heath Snyder going up the track a little bit here. Does Scott Wise maybe try to take advantage of it and get underneath him?
Also, just
thinking about it right there. Go ahead.
I was about to say, we just received the news update from the One Camp. Guess whose food's here? Justin Levine's. Guess who is not able to pit in the heart of the pack? Justin Levine. He's going to have a fun time if we get a caution here. He's already headed the apron, trying to figure out what to do for food.
Yeah, I think he's thinking about going down pit road. I tell you, whoever he's got, DoorDash or Uber Eats, they're probably going to be getting a little bit impatient with him if he doesn't get to that door. Hopefully they at least sit it down on the porch before, just don't leave with his food.
Well, it depends. Service. Remember, it's New York City that he's based out of. That's not easier said than done to leave food.
Yeah.
Because, well, first, there's people in New York City. 2, you have to remember to leave at door if you have a situation like this. So, apparently they're also gigantic rats is our producer's main thought process. I'm not sure if he thinks this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles world, but apparently he's going to burn a caution. He knew he turned Scott Wise to get one.
Scott Wise saves it, loses a lot of momentum. That allows Jason Hand to get by as Wise goes all the way back to 9th place. As a result, that did not cause the caution. I think Levine probably was wanting. I don't think he did that to get that caution, but I do believe that almost caused one as we take a look back at the replay.
Yeah, he was trying to push Scott Wise to the race lead. Actually did, but he never lifted in the corner until he got on the spoiler and took the air offset spoiler.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if maybe that had something to do with tire wear as well. I think the main thing that caused that was air. I think, like you said, it took the air off the back spoiler of Wise. I mean, it's not very wise to push at a track like this. We see some wiggles there from Heath Snyder and Sean Boundy as they're still trying to run that top line. Heath Snyder, of course, was the leader of the bottom line, but he jumped up. And unfortunately, it looks like he has lost a lot of momentum up there.
Yeah, the numbers just have shrunk on that top line, not really grouped together there compared to the short distance. Levine is now the race leader with all that, by the way, with the help of Little. Ishkanian also amongst those on the inside group. You mentioned having some of the Team Watson drivers in the race here tonight. Jason Hand amongst those also on that inside line. Interestingly enough, you see the paint scheme. His Team Watson scheme normally is a Buckshot Jones throwback to the toothpaste paint schemes. Tonight, well, in the race itself, he's the car behind the 19. He's electing to be Kenny Wallace instead.
That's definitely interesting. I'm showing a different paint scheme on my screen. That's interesting. Now I'm looking at it. Wow. Yeah, Jason Hand and a little bit of a different scheme there. Really like that on the broadcast. I think it's very colorful.
It's
so he's
called
trying to work his way up there to the 19.
It's called forgetting which league you're in and forgetting to switch the paint scheme 5 minutes before the race. It's simple as that sometimes.
I'll have to refresh it and see if the right paint scheme pops up now.
Well, in all seriousness, It is something that can happen when you're racing different series with different numbers. That's the case here tonight, it looks like, with the 0-0. But for Levine, coming up to 10 laps to go until the stage points. Food or not, he wants the stage points.
Yeah, that he does. So hopefully his food doesn't just disappear and somebody run off with it and got a free meal for the night. Right now, he definitely has the clean air, running really good. Of course, he has another GridVision car behind him of Michael Little. So I'm sure Little definitely going to try to push him along. We're seeing a lot more wiggling right now, and I'm wondering if that has something to do with the tire wear. Maybe these guys just pushing a little bit too hard.
Yeah, that can happen a fair bit here. Seen a lot of drivers get really loose already in this race. We've seen that a lot in all the car types. Outside though, Hugh Snyder has a friend in Bounty. They stay hooked up here. Well, keep in mind, tonight, technically, Manso and Faison are working with Bounty this evening. Levine has just played Pied Piper in front of all this.
Yeah, he jumps up in front of Heath Snyder. I'm curious, maybe if he was having some handling conditions on the bottom and just didn't like the way the truck was kind of going. Surprisingly, we haven't seen a whole lot of fall off. We've seen a couple tenths, which is surprising. But I think handling is definitely starting to go away for a lot of these trucks as Levine jumps back down in front of Michael Little, and he goes back up again on the backstretch. So very interesting Levine strategy here.
Still trying to play the lines, and this time it doesn't work as Heath Snyder nearly spins with the nose of Bounty. It's Michael Little now controlling the inside groove. Bobby Mansell trying to make up some ground using a bit of the apron. That was a discussion point. Normally, these drivers aren't supposed to be using the apron, actually, until the last lap in the last corner. A lot of these drivers are using that apron. Here in Atlanta is fine, though, because the apron's about 7 lanes wide.
Yeah, that...
Oh, and loose.
Hand down on the apron.
And a stack up for Mantle. He gets pushed underneath the red line. And we stay green. No damage to Bobby Mantle.
Yeah, hopefully those guys don't lose the draft. Of course, Faison right there behind him, as well as Mark McFadden. So hopefully those guys can work together and get a sniff of that draft. I know Jason Hand probably not too happy. Of course, I do believe that wasn't necessarily on anybody but him. But I know last week he lost the draft and was in no man's land. And I'm sure he does not want that to happen again as we go side by side once again for the lead. Justin Levine, of course, versus Michael Little.
And if they aren't careful, keep in mind the drivers that were involved in that stack up there could lose the lead. At least the draft to said lead. It looks like they're okay. Some apologies already over the radio. Under 5 laps to go until stage points. Levine continues to lead the pack as the Pied Piper. Heath Snyder yet again is the leader on the outside. Remember, Bounty, first in the championship standings. First of those in prime position to pick up said championship points. Bobby Mansell's also in the full season championship running.
Yeah, I'm starting to see a lot more tire fall off when it comes to lap times. 31.6s I'm pretty much seeing throughout this pack. So I'm wondering if that has something to do with maybe the tires. But then again, you look at a guy like Bobby Mansell, he's hitting some of his fastest laps thus far. Last time by he had a 31.1, which was a half a second faster than everybody else in front of him.
Oh, there goes Little. That stacks up the inside. Now Bobby Mantle says, you know what? Let's go underneath the red and white line. It's not yellow. It's time to go 3 wide as Snyder goes inside. Oh, that's getting very dicey. 2.5 wide as there goes the spin for the 19. Iskanian goes off sliding. Crash down the back straightaway. Michael Little now spins it. No caution yet. We still stay green.
Yeah, he has not come back up onto the racetrack. There he is. He's on the racetrack, which does bring out the yellow flag. We will finish this stage under yellow.
So at the stripe, it's Heath Snyder, Bobby Mansell, Bounty, Levine, and Hand of the top 5. White, Sheath, McFadden, Iskanian, and Little. It's Little that ends up being the caution trigger as the car rolls back, or rather the truck rolls back on the racing surface here.
And it looks like that actually came out off the nose of Justin Levine. And of course, Brandon Ishikanian had a similar issue as well, to where I think he hit the apron, got loose. Was able to avoid. Ooh, that was a close one.
So in turn, a good portion of the field involved in the caution, and with that being essentially the end of the stage, and I think Bobby Mantle hoping that is not the end of the stage based on Sheath. Most of the field electing to come down and pit here, except for these two. And these are the teammates of Mantle and Sheath. It is 2 to go, I believe, on the racetrack.
Yeah, I think this is a play to try to get some stage points.
We'll see how things shape up here. We'll get some confirmations down. We'll take a quick step aside. When we come back, the run towards the finish. 50 to go at the stripe. You're watching GridVision and GridVision Superspeedways presented by First Coast Fleet Services.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, and we've just gotten some confirmations. Apparently, this is not the first time this has happened. The last time this happened, I believe there was a time, but there's a fill-in for myself. But here's the thing. Bobby Mantle and Faison Sheath just big-brained their way to stage points. To get more points, at least. They did not pit. And according to discussions with race admins and Austin Derbyshire specifically as well, it's end of lap 25 no matter what. Guess what? Mantle wins the stage instead of Heath Snyder. Most of the Earth's positions did not change, and we're back underway with Bounty already taking the lead and Mantle letting cars go, knowing he needs to pit soon.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I know a lot of other leagues it is, kind of frozen when the caution happens. So interesting to note. Also should note as well that Justin Levine spent 45 seconds in his box. He did get his food.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the main reason there. I mean, it's pretty understandable, the 45 seconds in that case, because food over race car sometimes. Keyword sometimes.
Yeah. Sean Bounty, though, in the lead, could hit this B tonight. I think that it could be. We'll have to wait and see. I don't want to jinx him. Bobby Mantle, of course, you mentioned he has to pit. He's on the older equipment. He's up top, though, making a big run with the help of Scott Wise. You see Bounty jumps up to the top, and Faison Sheath going to lead that bottom line.
He's still trying to be on the inside, and it looks like Mantle's having some technical issues. Able to hold on to it, though, on the outside. Scott Wise is now very much over the radio saying, please don't do that.
Yeah, I'm definitely a little bit worried. I mean, this is not the track to have technical issues like that, considering you have to be so close to that driver and you don't know if they disappear where they are, especially with the closing rate here. Jason Hand, though, after his issue earlier, has definitely recovered quite well as he's, the 15, having some issues. Of course, Faison Sheik on the older tires. Looks like that is going to affect his handling, and he goes sideways, and now is going to go all the way back, I do believe, to last, possibly.
And Justin Levine is the only saving grace for him. They've both lost the pack. No caution. We stay green. And that's going to be a major concern in turn. You have to think for the drivers around Mantle, who is still in second.
Yeah. Well, he's running the top, so I think that he'll be a little bit better up there, but it definitely seemed like that was a tire issue with Faison. I'm not saying he had a tire failure, but something, I think the car just let go all of a sudden. Nobody was even near his back bumper, so I don't think it was the spoiler, the air.
In turn, though, you have to really think it's the old tires, because that's around the point where we've seen troubles in the other car types this season here at Atlanta.
Yeah, I definitely think it has something to do with the tires, and I think that's why Bobby's running higher on the track. And you know, it doesn't seem like it's affecting him quite as much, but I think if he was to go to the bottom of the racetrack, he could probably have a similar issue.
Starting to get a little bit stacky up as there goes Wise in the back end of Hand. He gets McFadden. Now it's Wise who gets into Snyder, and now it's a crash. Caution flag is out. Our second yellow of the evening. Hard contact for Mark McFadden. Just nowhere to go for Mark McFadden after the contact up top.
Yeah, unfortunately, that one was a slow-to-happen crash there. I mean, Scott Wise got a little bit into the wall, tried to, I think, get off the wall, and unfortunately, he was already just so loose. Came down into Mark McFadden. Then Wise went down the track and then right back up it again. I mean, that was like a pinball.
So Marion, New York's Jason Hannah wants those in the trigger. He, McFadden, and Wise with mandatory repairs. Here's Wise, 6-year military veteran, having several hits.
Yeah, pretty much everybody that was even in that path. I mean, there was nothing they could really do. He was just bouncing up and down like a, I mean, he was almost like a billiard ball or something, just hitting all kind of others. Just unfortunate to see that. Some fast repairs being used right now, that's for sure.
Black flag, Michael Little for passing the pace truck. Justin Levine also electing to take an EOL penalty for himself here. So, a lot going on here. We'll see how things get shaped out on strategy. Of note, Little does win the race off pit road, but not expecting him to hold on to said race. Snyder looks like it's not taking the fast repair. The ESE driver is getting some repairs done in the midst of caution. So Boundy in turn should take the race lead away in a minute.
Yeah, I like this call from Heath Snyder. I think this is a smart decision here to kind of just get the damage fixed as best you can on pit road, because there's bound to be another crash at some point. You're going to want to have that fast repair really in the bank. I mean, we've seen that prove to be the difference maker. I mean, that can win you a race if you got that fast repair.
Of note, black flags cleared for Levine and Little. Levine's now is back in place for an EOL penalty. So interesting when it comes to the case for Little. So that means he still will be the race leader. Although he's trying his best to pass the pace truck again. So we'll see how this gets shaped up here in terms of the running order. Again, it's Little, Boundy, Mantle, Wise, Chicanian amongst the top runners. Snyder, after repairs, is behind Faison Chieth. Mark McFadden took the fast repair. Jason Hand took the fast repair. Justin Levine is at the back of the field, and it looks like Little is in command, coming to the green flag this time.
Oh, that's interesting. Mark McFadden just came down pit road again here. I think he's probably trying to get more damage repaired on that machine. Unfortunately, The green flag is getting ready to come out, so he is probably going to end up going some laps down here. And if he does get back onto the track, he could be a little bit of an obstacle here.
We're about to find out how this all goes here. Again, we're just a couple laps away from the midway point. McFadden is taking full service, so it's going to be a race to get to the back of the field in time here with Little in turn 3. Keep in mind when it comes to Michael Little, 4 previous starts, his best finish, it came here at Atlanta actually on November the 13th in the next-gen car. Can he up that in the truck, in the last truck race of the season? Let's find out. With still 40 laps to go. He's on the inside, it's Bounty on the outside. Up to the restart zone. Green flag is out, back underway. Good launch inside from Little. Is it too good of a launch? No one else went.
Yeah, that was definitely an early jump there for Little. I think that's going to hurt him, considering look at the run that Bobby Mantle's already getting here. Little up the racetrack. I do want to say as well, Mark McFadden was able to catch the pack, so he is safe right now. Very glad to see that. Let's look at the big moves here from Bobby Mantle. He jumps up in front of Sean Bounty. They're both going to try to see if they can possibly get by the 93 of Little.
As to be expected, all the drivers took 4 tires along with the fuel, so everyone's balanced out on strategies for the time being. Halfway next time by. Manto up to the race lead. Little trying to charge up on the inside. For Bobby Manto, picked up the stage victory, his best finish, Daytona, in the trucks on October the 30th. Can he become the only repeat truck winner, is the question too.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if that trend continues to where will somebody else possibly win this race and keep that trend going, or will Mantle be the first repeat winner? It's definitely possible. I mean, Mantle has shown that whether he's on old tires or new tires, he's just as fast as about everybody else. Here comes Michael Little, though. He's going to try to see if he can get a run going on the bottom side with the help of Brandon Ish. And I did get a message from Brandon. He said, you could just call me Ish.
Well, Ish is trying to get a little bit of speed built up with Little on the inside. 2-truck tandem compared to the 3-4 trucks building up on the outside. That time by Little with the advantage. It's blue truck versus black truck.
Yeah, 2 blue trucks lined up on the bottom there, as we have gray and black trucks kind of up on the top. But Scott Wise, of course, after his issue, worked his way back up into the top 5. Heath Snyder as well. He took some damage repairs. He is, I do believe, side by side with Faison Sheep. That is for that 6th place position. And it looks like I think Heath is kind of struggling a little bit from what I'm seeing here. I don't know if the damage is really affecting him, but it does seem like it. He's not able to catch up to the back of the 19.
Yeah, just can't get the momentum together. You know who is getting momentum together? Levine. Levine gives him a bit of a shot. Tiny one. They are teammates in SSRL competition, even with the different technical alliances outside of said series. Not surprised to see the 1 and the 29 try to at least move together. It didn't work.
No, not at all. They both lost a tremendous amount of momentum. And Levine has been, you know, he's led some laps here tonight, but just I don't know what's going on. I don't know if maybe he's got some food he's eating while he's driving, but it just doesn't look like he's quite as quick as he was when he was leading. You see side by side for the lead. Michael Little still trying to make that bottom line work, and it looks like it is finding some success. Can he get clear to the top? He got close that time.
Better yet, does he want to go up top here with how the bottom's been working?
Oh, I don't know. They get really, really close. You can fit a piece of paper in between the 89 and the 93 there for a moment. As, speeds are definitely high right now. Looks like everybody, for the most part, playing very nicely. Brandon Ishikani getting very close to the back end of Michael Little. We've seen the air on those back spoilers really play some havoc on the handling of these race cars. I hope Brandon knows that.
See if he is aware of that. Well, he just said on the radio, I don't trust myself to push you.
Well, at least he is aware. Okay. He's doing a good job, though. I mean, he's keeping Michael Little right there. I mean, now they just surged ahead a little bit.
Apparently, Michael Little has an issue. He just said he needs to go to the back of the field. It's something that's not right on his sim rig, it appears.
Oh, no.
He's just told the field he's going to the bottom and under the red and white line down the backstretch. There he goes.
Yeah, there he goes. So something definitely seems to be wrong. It didn't seem like he was performing badly. But hopefully he's able to get that took care of. Heath Snyder getting a better run of speed now as he drives his way up to the back end of the 19. Brandon Ishikanian maybe going to lead his first laps here tonight.
Yeah, there's a chance, but Mantle still has some help from Bounty up on the top. Ishikanian sliding the tires, trying to keep all the speed at 170 miles an hour.
Yeah, definitely coming up now, I do believe, to 30 laps to go. We've gotten clear past the halfway point, still side by side for the lead. It's Bobby Mantle. He's been tough to beat up on that top side. Of course, been working very well with Sean Bounty. Michael Little looks like he might have the issue corrected. He is back up into the top 5, gaining some momentum back to the back end of the 4 of Heath Snyder.
Lined up right now, coming to 30 laps to go. Scott Wise also wants to start to make some pushes ahead. We are getting towards where the tires get slidey, though. This is where we seen trouble the last time when we had a green flag run. These tires going to be a major trouble from here on out.
No, you're definitely exactly right. I mean, we're even seeing it, I think, represented in the lap times. These guys are hitting about 4/10 slower than their fastest lap, so we'll see how that works out. Looks like Ishikanian jumps up to the top in front of Bobby Mantle. Let's see if he stays up there. Can Heath Snyder make something happen on that bottom line with the help of Michael Little?
Yeah, they seem pretty confident now in terms of their lineup order. So whatever Michael Little had order-wise seemed to be settled the second Justin Levine came behind. Now there's a check up top, though. Wise nearly got into the back of Bounty, but Bounty holds on outside line.
Yeah, great driving we're seeing right here tonight. These guys are definitely looking like they have a pretty good handle on the race car. As we see Heath Snyder, I thought he was damaged or something was wrong with that race car, but it seems like maybe he was actually just kind of laying off a little bit to maybe save tire or something like that, because it seems like he's just as fast as everybody else there. As he is in the lead and in control with Michael Little's help. And Justin Levine, he seems like he's gotten everything worked out. He must have put some fuel in the tank, ate a couple bites of food. As they might even get clear to the top here. Look at this.
It goes to pay time, and it looks like Levine wants to be a leader again. Does anybody else want to go with them? None of his alliance members able to go down with them. Scott Wise, in fact, fills the gap, and now Ishikanian electing to go with Levine. And Wise goes into Ishikanian in turn.
And Wise trying to keep hold of that race car. It was getting very, very difficult to keep that thing pointed in the right direction. He was able to save it. We definitely saw a little bit of contact there.
In turn, that's broken up the pack a little bit for now. Ishikanian able to keep it on the high side. Now he's built up momentum on the top. 25 laps to go here from Atlanta, and Wise does not look comfortable.
Yeah, he definitely does not, for sure. He's trying to get that momentum back, and I think he's got it. I mean, he's going to be able to get back up to the back end of the 93, but can he get that truck handling a little bit better? It seems like he's got speed, but it doesn't look like he's very, like you said, comfortable on this racetrack. As we're verging on maybe seeing 3 wide, you see Michael Little thinking about it. He might, but what really could be happening there is maybe some of these guys starting to have temperature issues. We, of course, talked about how the temperature could be impacting the tires. We haven't talked about how the temperature could be impacting the engine temperature.
Normally don't think about that too much these days because everyone has the exact same tape, doesn't in theory, come up in the mind. That's a little bit of tire smoke. And it looks like Michael Little wants to drop back again. He just indicated on the radio.
Yeah, oh, big hit on the wall. There we go. Big problems.
Caution flag is out there, still wrecking up front with Snyder. They all hold on to it, but Little, Wise, several more stack up.
Yeah, this is not good. Talking about engine problems. So there's one right there. You see smoke pouring out of the back of the 31. Let's take a look back at this as we see Michael Little, of course, getting out of the way of this. He must have, I don't know, he must have had some alarms going off there. He knew exactly when to get out of this area. And Mark McFadden, unfortunately, another issue for the 848, and of course Bobby Mansell involved.
And in turn, this brings out the caution flag. Lots of hard hits there.
Yeah, and I know McFadden, I don't think, or Wise, I don't think they have fast repairs. That might be all she wrote.
In turn, under caution. We'll take a break. When we come back, more coverage right after this. You're watching GridVision.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to tonight's coverage of today's racing action for GridVision Superspeedways, presented by First Coast Fleet Services, as we get set for the restart. 20 laps to go, coming up to 19 at this point. So we'll see how this all fares out here. Your thoughts so far on the action, coming to 19 to go?
Been a good race. I'll tell you, I love this track. I mean, a lot of people, I'd say I was included in that group of people, didn't like this new version of this racetrack. And I still like the old one, of course, but I do enjoy this place here. I think it puts on some great racing. It's definitely a interesting take on a super speedway.
So it's Levine and Snyder up on the front row here with 19 to go for the restart. Kenyon and Mantle, then Sheath and Bounty amongst the top three rows here. In turn, who do you think gets this one as we get ready for the restart?
I don't know. Justin Levine's going to be tough to beat. I think you give him the lead, it's going to be really hard to take that away from him.
Green, back underway.
Yeah, really good restart there from Justin Levine. but a good restart may not be the best thing at a super speedway race, but he jumps up, possibly, oh, a little bit of a loose condition there as he switches lanes too quickly. But he is able to maintain the momentum as Brandon Ishikanian, of course, drafts us up to him as Snyder leads that top line with Bobby Mantle in tow. Now, Mantle was involved in that last crash. I thought maybe he didn't have a fast pair left, but I think he might not now. Could he possibly still go back-to-back? It's still a possibility as Justin Levine plays the Pied Piper role here tonight.
And that's been what he's been comfortable doing all night. He's got a fair amount of experience in these trucks for a reason, especially when it comes to the Road to Pro ladder.
Yeah, has always been a really impressive driver. But I don't know. I mean, I just feel like it's very risky jumping in between the lines, but he knows what he's doing. I mean, he's found a ton of success at these super speedway races. He's one of the best, super speedway style racing drivers on the sim, I'd say. Of course, Ishikanian trying to stay with the one machine. So top line starting to kind of fade away. Faison Schick up to the top 3.
We've seen some decent improvement from him from especially even a month ago. He's had a lot of rough races at times. Tonight, though, he's, for the most part, stayed out of trouble outside of, running on old tires by about 20, 30 laps compared to the field.
Yeah, and that didn't really cause many issues. It just hurt him more than anything else. But, looking really good. Like you said, we've seen a lot of improvement from the 15. I know a lot of drivers had a little bit of some criticism, critique, they critiqued him quite a bit early in the season. But I don't think anybody really can critique him now. I think they've really they've seen a marked change in the 15's driving ability. As, of course, Snyder tries to push his way forward here with the aid of Mantle. Looks like they get a big run in 1 and 2.
Still not able to clear on by for third, though, for the time being. So, still trying to shape things up and play things out. Not able to clear on by.
Faison is getting a little bit tight. He's getting a little bit tight up on Snyder, and I think this, a lot of this, I think they're trying to almost side draft each other here. Faison, he's going to move up to the top. Interesting decision, as well as Jason Hand with a big run.
Still trying to battle side by side. So now it's the matter of seeing how this all goes for Sheath. Coming to 13 laps to go. No help up top. Not even his teammate able to get to him yet.
It looks like Snyder thinking about, he don't know where he wants to go. And it looks like, I think Snyder has decided to commit to pushing the 15. You see, of course, the 89 of Bobby Mantle trying to get up there as well with help from his teammate, 34 of Sean Boundy. Justin Levine still in control. Of course, being helped by Ishikanian. Of course, these two not teammates, but still seem to be working together very well. Of course, there are two teammates that are lined up. Jason Hand and Brandon Ishikanian are on the same team, so will they try to ditch Levine when the opportunity strikes?
That's the major thing, coming to 11 laps to go here. So what line do you prefer to be on to set this up at this point?
Now, that's definitely interesting. I think the top is going to be where you're going to want to be probably a little bit later. So I think we're going to really start to see these guys, I think, move to the top very, very soon, especially to get the runs. I mean, these guys are on a little bit of a longer run now. 10 laps in, so, Faison getting a little bit loose up top, and it looks like we have some issues. I think that's Bobby Mantle.
Right, descended below the line. That didn't work. Mantle able to save it. Coming to 10 laps to go.
That's interesting. We've seen that. We talked about that, that it is legal to go down there below the white and red line. But the thing is just like we just plainly saw, you don't have to let that other person up. And if they don't let you up, then that could cause a crash. And I think Bobby just wanted to avoid that. As we see the top line getting a huge run. Faison Schick up in the lead for now.
Now it's the matter, does that stay the case? Levine's trying to build up speed again on the bottom. Snyder's trying to find a way to poke around. Can't do much as Levine has a bigger run inside.
Yeah, this is definitely starting to intensify. As you can see, these guys starting to leave less and less room. The give and take is starting to go away. And Faison going up the track a little bit here. He's starting to get a little tight. And Snyder thinking about possibly going and maybe trying to take the middle groove. Haven't seen a whole lot of 3 wide here tonight. I think we're going to see that change here very soon.
Still trying to dice it up. Offset 3 wide, it is 3 wide. Little trying to charge up the inside, 7 laps to go.
Yeah, Faison's starting to have some issues when it comes to tight, and you can see that clearly right there. And he is going to fall all the way back to 7th. He was battling side by side for the lead just a moment ago as Justin Levine trying to hold off this hungry pack of cars that are trying to get by him.
Still trying to find a way, Ishikanian getting very loose. 14 laps into these tires, keep in mind. Levine gets an air push from Ishikanian. Little trying to find any line that takes him to the front.
Yeah, this is going to get interesting. I don't know, whoever's in the lead right now might not be in the lead when we cross the start-finish line. Keep in mind that, you know, one of the best finishes, or should I say the craziest, closest finish we've ever had in this series was at this racetrack. I think we saw 5 wide, if I'm not mistaken, coming to the checker.
Still coming around. 6 laps to go. Levine now back up to the front. Snyder looking to build some help with Bounty. Ishikanian looks to be in good spots, though, to be able to try and clear the 29. It's the matter of, can he do it?
That's going to be hard to do. Snyder has been incredibly fast here in this race. He's, I do believe, has one of the fastest laps so far. As there goes Little. Little is definitely getting aggressive. He is driving all the way down onto the apron to try to see if he could possibly shorten the racetrack. It doesn't seem like it's gaining them too much time.
Down to the final 5, make it 4.5 laps to go as they look to sort themselves out here. Snyder still up top. Still no progress in these lines.
Tell you what, Ishikanian's been doing a fantastic job pushing Justin Levine. As there goes Little once again. He's going to take him 3 wide, but he's not going to have any draft help. Ooh, there go to issues, and Levine is turned along with Michael Little and Ishikanian.
Caution flag is out. Ishikanian gets some extra help from Little, and that's a majority of the field.
This changes absolutely everything. That's going to cause a green-white checkered. As we take a look at the replay here, I think this all happens because Michael Little coming up the track does not have room to, well, he did have a little bit of room, but I think this just had an issue with him coming down, coming up from the apron. And like you said, secondary contact there.
So a lot of contact. Here's again the reason. And that collected almost everybody.
Yeah, Sean Boundy was in it. I mean, Justin Levine. I mean, he probably had no clue what happened. I mean, Levine probably didn't even see this coming at all. He just probably looking just trying to hold his line here. All of a sudden, there he goes. Wow, what a viewpoint there. Snyder looking like he's going to be in control after that one. Look, you see Michael Little coming to pit road. Heavy damage for the 93.
So 3 laps to go, and most of the field coming down. Ishikanian in hand, playing the risk factor, hand with damage. Does this work out even on 2 laps?
I don't know. This is definitely curious. I'm surprised that Ishikanian is staying out. He got some damage out of that too. He was involved. He's got, I do believe, some pretty sizable right side, right front damage. You can see the crack right there. And yeah, I don't know how that's going to work. I think this is definitely an interesting decision from him and Jason Hand. You can see Hand has got some major front end damage as well. So both of these cars very hurt. Look at that. This very, very warped right front right there. You can see, look at that, even worse for Jason Hand. So yeah, both of these guys, I think they're going to be a lot slower. And I don't know, this is just kind of probably a Hail Mary pass. Probably just a desperation call here. Let's see, maybe, I don't know, Ishikanian looks like he's going to come down pit road actually.
So he's going to sacrifice track position. Hand is not. Now that's a decision. That's a decision.
Yeah, it's definitely a decision. I bet Heath Snyder probably none too happy about that because he's got to line up behind Jason Hand. But Faison Schick, I think this could be favorable for the 15. As long as he nails this restart and is able to get a solid run around the double zero with the help of Bobby Mantle, this could be great, a great thing for the 15.
So again, coming up to a green-white checkered finish here. 3 attempts available. If we take the white flag, race is official to the checkered. If we get an incident before the white flag, we'll redo it again. There is that chance with a 19-lap difference on tires and a damaged truck and Jason Hand up front. The Team Watson truck alongside Faison Schick, Heath Snyder, Bobby Mantle, Justin Levine, Sean Bounty, everyone else is out of contention.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be curious how this. I don't know what to expect here, but we're getting ready to find out. I'll tell you what, it's definitely going to be an interesting one. I don't think whoever wins this race, I don't think it's going to be who we expect. I don't know.
So take your picks and hope for the best. Just about all set to go.
Faison. I'm going with Faison.
Green flag is out and no go from the double zero.
Oh no. Hopefully that doesn't cause any black flags.
There is one for the 19, but that was for a pit exit. Outside of that, the race is on for the win. Bobby Mantle with his teammate Faison Schick in front. Here comes Heath Snyder and Justin Levine, though. Here comes the charge inside, side by side.
What an awesome move for Heath Snyder. I mean, wow. Just driving it around on the bottom. They make it look easy as Heath Snyder takes the white flag.
White flag taken, final time around. Side by side as Snyder works on the inside, outside for Faison Schick. Levine trying to push Snyder. Mantle trying to push Schick. Who's going to get the edge at the stripe? Faison Schick looking for his first win of the series. Same for Heath Snyder. Coming to the checker flag. Which line works the best? In the end, the drag race. It's Snyder who gets it done.
What a close finish. I do believe that was 2 100ths right there. So Heath Snyder able to get it done. As I do believe Faison probably a little bit disappointed, but really great effort from the 15.
So in turn, it's Heath Snyder who takes the win. He gets it done by 0.024 seconds. And Heath Snyder gets to celebrate his first win in this series.
Yeah, what an awesome job. Always has been an incredibly talented driver. Glad to see him actually break through and get a victory here.
So here's a look at the race results. Snyder, Schick, Levine, Mantle, and Boundy. Along with Hand on the lead lap. Ishikanian 3 laps down. Little, Wise, and McFadden. How things finish out here tonight. Take a quick break. Post-race coverage underway in just a moment. You're watching GridVision for coverage of GridVision Superspeedways presented by First Coast Fleet Services. Welcome back to GridVision for post-race coverage of GridVision Superspeedways. Justin Prince, Brian Britt, Austin John Bishar producing. As Heath Snyder is currently in the midst in live action to a parade lap. Justin Levine, though, it was a question of what he get to eat before tonight's action, and in the end, he's able to get himself a podium finish. See if we get the chance to talk with him in the next moment or so. Go third through first. Justin Levine now jumps into the broadcast booth. Justin, first things first, did you get your food?
Oh, yes, I did.
Second things second, how does the top three feel?
Feels great. After getting wrecked there, I didn't know if we were going to have a shot. I didn't know who had a fast repair left, who didn't. We were able to get the bottom with Heath there, and we never left. They were pretty happy to push Heath there.
So in turn here, how would you describe tonight's action to try and sort things up at the front, beat the Pied Piper, all that? How would you describe all it?
That was a lot of fun. The tires going away after like 15 laps made it a little bit difficult. Definitely had to be a little bit on the conservative side. Unfortunately, small field, but yet again, another photo finish, and it was a lot of fun.
So in turn, anyone we want to get a shout out to tonight?
Shout out to you guys, best in the biz. Can't wait to go back and watch the broadcast. All the viewers, and gotta thank all 10 for showing up tonight. I know it was a small field, but I think we all had fun.
Congratulations once again on the run.
Thank you.
Once again, that's Justin Levine coming away with a third place run tonight. Faison Sheath gets second place tonight. He's with Brian.
Faison, definitely great run here tonight. Man, I mean, you almost had the dub in the bag. I mean, it was a .024. What did you need to get across that finish line before Heath?
Personally, I would just say, honestly, I needed a better line on exit. Also, the little hesitation I had on the final restart, because it felt like I jumped to start there, but somehow I got a little bit lucky on the brakes there, and I held out just a little bit longer, and I was able to keep P2 just before the green light, and did not get the black flag for that. So I was able to keep myself in the run there.
Yeah, definitely had to be a difficult situation to be in when you had such a damaged truck on the bottom line leading the race. But you were able to manage, and you definitely looked like you had a really good shot at the victory there. I mean, Bobby definitely did a great job trying to push you. But still, awesome job. We saw a lot of growth from you this season, I'd say. I mean, in the beginning of the season, you had your critics. What have you done to kind of change that?
Pretty much, I just try to drive normal as I can. Just kind of the stuff that I do in road a lot. Just kind of keep myself safe, even though it's oval. You got to drive completely differently. I just kind of held my lane, just stayed safe, and until like the last 5-10 laps. Then I can kind of just go for it. And also, I've done a lot more oval racing on official races, and that just kind of helped me out with understanding how pushes work, how to use draft to your advantage, and just not make mistakes that I was used to. And a little bit help from Chad and Bobby. They were both helping me out with the mistakes I've made, and also Sean Bounty. He's also been helping me out and some of the flaws I've been creating. in the league.
Well, it's definitely noticeable. I mean, we clearly see the difference. I mean, in your driving here as of late, and definitely love to see it for sure. Great job to you, and hopefully next time you'll be one step higher on the ladder here. Who can we shout out after your second place finish?
Yeah, I like to thank out our team in general. Bobby, especially for the pushing. Chad, even though he's not here unfortunately at the moment. I also like to thank our other teammate Sean, who's also joined like midway through the season. But yeah, if it wasn't for those three, I would not be where I was at right now. I'd probably be that guy in the back wrecking everyone.
I'm definitely glad they took you under their wing for sure, Faison, and you have yourself a great night. Congratulations on the second place.
I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Let's Faison Chief in second. Heath Snyder takes the win tonight. Let's take the words with Heath Snyder. Heath, you get your first win of the season. How are you feeling?
Feeling pretty good.
Talk us through the strategy in turn that got you this win tonight.
Well, I was pretty worried having to start there behind Jason. I did not know how that was going to go, but I figured at least if I could clear him and get the draft, that I should have been able to recover pretty well. And that run I got down the backstretch, I was kind of shocked that neither of them pulled out to block that. So once I got the inside line, I knew I had a slight advantage coming out of 4, so I felt pretty good.
In turn, with this race tonight, in turn, who would you like to give a shout out to on how you ran this evening?
Well, I gotta shout out the guys at ESE. I know this is a mostly fixed setup league, but you know, the guys at ESE are great and awesome to work with, and all the sponsors that are on the truck, and then also you guys for putting on some great broadcasts. You guys do an amazing job.
Well, congratulations once again on the run tonight.
Thank you, Justin.
Once again, that's Heath Snyder coming away with the race win tonight. I'd like to thank him, along with the rest of the top 3, for taking the time to speak with us during post-race coverage here on GridVision. In turn, Brian, your quick final thoughts on tonight.
Final thoughts. Thought it was a really good race. I think I was right in who won the race was not who I expected to win the race, and Heath Snyder, but definitely a great job to him. Another exciting race in the books for Atlanta Motor Speedway. Can't wait to see what I do believe Daytona looks like next week.
We'll see how that fares out. Let's take a look at what's coming up the rest of the week. And remember, there is a oval refresh tomorrow expected on iRacing. Tuesday and Thursday will be some true tests in the trucks, Champion and SSRL respectively, each at 9 p.m. Charlotte on Tuesday. Thursday is Phoenix here on GridVision. It should be an interesting time. We'll see how things play out until then. But on that note, it's time to say goodbye here tonight. For my co-announcer Brian Britt, for producer Austin Jarmishar, I'm Justin Brent saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your night. You've been watching GridVision Superspeedways, presented by First Coast Fleet Services, where we spent Monday in a pack.